Hello everyone, my name is Jimmy and welcome to The Last Lap, and in today's video we have some silly season news for you guys going into 2023. But before we hop into it, just want to remind you guys to hit that like button and subscribe button if you like NASCAR content. That is what we bring for you guys. So make sure you like the video, subscribe, check out our social media, all that fun stuff. But let's go ahead and hop straight into it. As always, I have my friend and co-host Matthew joining me on the show, and we've been able to keep ourselves somewhat busy over the off-season so far. Personally, I like to watch other sports as well, just to kind of keep myself entertained. So, Matthew, how's it feel to be, I think we're about a week into the off-season now, and quite a few weeks to Daytona, so how you feeling?
Well, this is our first video of the all-season of 2022, heading to 2023, and man, it feels weird not having NASCAR on this past weekend. But I wasn't bored at all. I have iRacing to keep me in company for the weekend, and also NBA's on, NFL's on, and is on, and Formula One's also on for the time being until this past weekend's done and F1's over this weekend. So I'm still, I'm not bored at all, but it feels weird not having NASCAR on this past weekend. Been keeping myself busy. Started decorating the place. Already got Christmas tree up. I know it's a little bit early, but I saw those Christmas commercials already early in, and I'm like, I might as well get up now. So, yeah.
Yeah, you reminded me to congratulate you on your iRacing win, your Xfinity Series win at Chicagoland. So
it was an ARCA
on
win,
that.
actually.
Oh, ARCA, whatever. Xfinity, ARCA. Close enough. Still at Chicagoland. But you reminded me of that, so congratulations on that. But let's go ahead and hop into some silly season news. These are arguably the two, well, probably not arguably, these are the two best rides still available, not anymore. So the first one was Ty Gibbs. It was announced that he will be moving up to the Cup Series next season. And Joe Gibbs Racing did a whole thing on Twitter about it. I'm going to go ahead and read it and probably throw it up on the screen for you guys as well. So the first thing says, Ty Gibbs will compete full-time for Joe Gibbs Racing in 2023 NASCAR Cup Series behind the wheel of the number 54 Toyota Camry TRD. Moving on. It goes on to say his stats in the Xfinity Series, how he won 7 wins this year, 23 top 10s, all that stuff. But it also goes on to continue saying that Chris Gale, who served as crew chief during his Xfinity Championship season, will move with Ty Gibbs to serve as crew chief in the Cup Series. And it also says JGR intends to utilize the number 18 in the NASCAR Cup Series in future years. So there's a few things to break down here. First of all, Ty Gibbs moving up to the Cup Series. This was no surprise. Probably tied with Kyle Busch moving to RCR is like the worst kept secret in the Cup Series garage. Like once Kyle Busch left, everybody's like, oh, well, Ty Gibbs is obviously going to move to Joe Gibbs Racing. So that announcement was made, obviously. The next thing is the number 54. Ty Gibbs brings the 54 with him from Xfinity to Cup, and Joe Gibbs is not going to use the 18 car. I actually kind of called this the other day. You and I were texting back and forth about it, and I was like, watch Ty Gibbs bring the 54 with him. And sure enough, he brings the 54 with him. I'm sure it's probably, it's like a branding thing. Like, he started with the 54 in Xfinity, even though he ran the 18 in ARCA, which is kind of weird how it just went from 18 to 54 and stayed 54. But he's going to stay with 54, so I like it that he's going to stick with it. It is kind of weird that the 18, he's not going to be in the 18, because you would assume with him being a Gibbs that he would keep the 18, since that's the number that very much started Joe Gibbs Racing back in the day, back in 1992, I believe, with Dale Jarrett, and Bobby Labonte, obviously. Kyle Busch drove the 18, so it kind of made sense to keep the 18 going, especially with your grandson, who's going to be racing for a long time, but they say they plan on bringing the 18 back, with who I really don't know. But yeah, just kind of interesting that they're going to keep the 54 car. First time it's going to be in Cup in quite a while, probably. I don't even really know the last time somebody drove the 54, if anybody did at all. But the other thing is Chris Gale. He's going to crew chief this number 54 car with Ty Gibbs. And I think this is a great opportunity, especially since they just won an Xfinity championship together. Keep those two close together, keep them paired up, and sail off into the sunset and, start your Cup career together too. So why not? This does mean that Ben Beshore, they didn't say anything about where he's going to go, and, honestly, he didn't do too much with Kyle Busch, so I wouldn't be surprised if he gets bumped down to Xfinity or just gets bumped out of the way in general. I'm not sure, but I do like this pairing of Chris Gale to go with Ty Gibbs. So real quick, I just want to talk about Ty Gibbs one more time really quick. And, everybody critiqued him after Martinsville, and I don't know how he does it. Like, he just somehow puts that all aside and goes out there and races, and he wins. Like, people have been talking about him all season long about, oh, he should watch his temper, and, oh, he's not mature enough to race in the Cup Series. Oh, he shouldn't be racing, should race another year in Xfinity, blah, 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 blah. And he goes out and wins all these races this year, wins the championship, shuts people up, and he wins. So, I mean, you got to at least respect him in that sense that he goes out there and wins races. Probably not the way he wants to, but he goes out there and wins races. Dale Jr. also said this week that we should give Ty Gibbs some respect and go easy on him, obviously, as they adjust to this lifestyle with his father unfortunately passing away. And I completely agree. I'm going to give Ty Gibbs some slack. I mean, I haven't been too harsh on him. I like him. It looks like he has a pretty good head on his shoulders, pretty good morals and all that stuff as well. I do think he does need to learn a little bit and mature just a tiny bit with his behavior on the racetrack. But, you're a racer. When you get out there on the racetrack, you want to be aggressive and make moves, and you want to win, and you have that strive to win and do as best as you can. So can't really fault him for that, but I hope he has time over the off season to have a really, tight-knit group of people that are, his age or just a little bit older, kind of like me. I have you and my other friend, Noah, Elijah, a few really close friends my age that, I can talk with and, share and talk about anything with. And I hope Ty has a few of those close friends that he can talk with over the off season, maybe a few people older than him too, to kind of guide him through this whole situation. Dale Jr. even, maybe Dale Jr. will talk to Ty and kind of help him out as well, since he lost his dad at a pretty young age too. So a lot ahead for Ty Gibbs next season. Thankfully, he has the off season to kind of, get his head straight and, get focused for next season, obviously after they, deal with everything that happens. So excited for Ty. I hope he does good next season. I'll be rooting for him to have a good rookie season. But now we're going to talk about Ryan Preece. He'll be moving to the 41 car in the Cup Series, replacing Cole Custer. And Cole Custer will be dropping back down to the Xfinity Series with Stewart-Haas Racing. And, I think this is a good move all around for everybody. Cole Custer, he has not had the best first few years in the Cup Series. I did some research. This year he had 3 top 10s. His average finish was 20th. And his best average finish in general was in 2020 when he had that one win at Kentucky. That was 19.2. He had 2 top 5s and 7 top 10s. So the stats for Cole Custer have not been the best. I think this is a great opportunity for him to move down to the Xfinity Series to rebuild some confidence. Maybe win a few races there and hop back into the Cup Series in a few years when Kevin Harvick or Eric Almirola retires. But yeah, great opportunity for Ryan Preece as well. He has never really been in that good of equipment in the Cup Series. He's kind of been like Stewart-Haas Racing's development driver. He's ran a few truck races, so very excited to see what Ryan Preece can do. I don't really have too high of expectations for Ryan Preece. I think he'll do, honestly, just as good, if not a little bit better than Cole Custer. So I don't really think it's that much of an upgrade, but I hope he proves me wrong. I hope he has a great season next year. But those are 2 main pieces of silly season news for us that we are bringing to you guys. So time for Matthew's opinion on some of this stuff. So Matthew, what do you guys say about these 2 big silly season moves that came out this week?
All right, so and going into Ty Gibbs, going to the Cup Series for Joe Gibbs Racing, absolutely no surprise at all. I mean, no one saw this. I mean, everyone saw this one coming from like 3 miles away, basically. To the point that the NBC broadcast booth during the Phoenix race was basically talking about, oh, he's going to be in the Cup Series next year. They even knew. So, I mean, it was no surprise there. But they come with a big twist. The 54 number is going to be on that car, not the number 18 car. And I was actually legit surprised by this because the 18 car is an iconic number, especially in Joe Gibbs Racing. That's the number that started it all for Joe Gibbs Racing. That was the number that gave him the first win, the Daytona 500 in 1993 with Dale Jarrett. They won the 2000 championship with Bobby Labonte in the iconic Interstate Batteries colors. Then, of course, the number 18 car was the first became Kyle Busch's car. Gave Toyota the first ever win, the triple sweep, the 2 championships, and just a lot of history basically with that number. And it just feels so weird to not see that. Just not gonna see that number on the track next year. It just feels weird. But I do understand what they're trying to make. I guess Ty Gibbs have his own identity with the number 54. Which, to be honest, Kyle Busch actually brought up the 54 number first in the Xfinity Series, driving that Monster Energy car. So that's that. But I guess, Ty Gibbs is going to make his own identity in the 54 in the Cup Series. Let's just say that. So, in terms of expectations, I've said it repeatedly that this kid is going to be a superstar one day. I think this kid is going to be a champion one day. He has the absolute talent to get it done. Of course, there is controversy with the maturity, the patience that sometimes he might not have. But, of course, what just happened with him recently, I think I agree with you, Jimmy, that we got to, just take it easy on him. Unfortunately, though, that's probably not going to happen because you're going to have those idiots in the stands, being fools out of themselves. They don't care, but we got to just, take it easy on him. He's going through such a tough time. And this past season, he has shown flashes of patience and maturity. Of course, I think about the Road America race. He straight up beat the defending series champion with a Hendrick Motorsports Xfinity car. And he just straight up beat him. He didn't move him out the way. He didn't wreck him, Kyle Larson made the mistake and Ty Gibbs took the advantage of it. He was patient. So this kid does have the talent of patience when it comes to that. And I also can think of the championship race at Phoenix. All week long, there was a bunch of, especially Noah Gragson, trying to be Mr. Tough Guy. Oh, I don't like him. I'll wreck him. I'll get the chance. Ty Gibbs didn't let that bother him at all. He was like, okay, you're going to talk to me about it like that? Okay, just watch this. Get the pole, dominate the race, win the championship. That's what he did right there. And, this kid's going to be something one day. I hope he has an amazing season next season. In terms of how he'll do, I think it'll be some learning at first for him, but I think maybe the second half of the season he can have some success going on. I don't know about a win. I don't know about that, but in terms of making the playoffs, maybe I think that he has a good shot at least in making the playoffs, in my opinion. So, yeah, that's my opinion on that. And, of course, the breaking news that came out today about Ryan Preece to the 41. This one was actually shocking, to be honest, because Cole Custer, as you know, his father works with basically his right-hand man with Gene Haas. So, I thought he'll basically be back next year, even though his Cup Series career, and no offense to him, but he's been almost as close of a scrub as you could think, as you can come with. I'm not calling him an absolute scrub because he did win a race in his rookie year at a mile and a half, which was absolutely fantastic. That was impressive. But after that, when nothing good has happened since then, nothing has happened since then. I mean, he's in a Stewart-Haas racing car and he's finishing like 26 in the point standings while his teammates, Chase Briscoe, getting his first win his sophomore year, almost this close in advancing to the championship four. Kevin Harvick, even though he had a rough year last year, bounced back, went back-to-back races. Unfortunately, he had some bad luck in the playoffs, but I mean, he was able to win back-to-back races. Eric Almirola, even though he didn't win, he had a very strong first half, but then kind of slid back the second half. But Cole Custer it just disappeared. I mean, he was gone. No one can find him. The only time you'll see him on TV is if he's getting like 3 laps down or basically wrecking the car. I mean, I just don't know what's up with him in the Cup Series. It just does not match well together. So, of course, this was Tony Stewart's decision to bring Ryan Preece in. And I guess good thing for Tony Stewart, something went his way. Something went his way for once. But I am happy for Ryan Preece. This is finally his big chance here. To see how he does at a top team here. In terms of how he'll do next season, I don't think he'll win. But like I said about Ty Gibbs, I think he does have a good chance of making the playoffs, depending on how many winners we have at the time. And as for Cole Custer, he will be back in the Xfinity Series, assuming he'll be the 00 car like he did before. And even though getting him demoted to the Xfinity Series may be a gut wrench, I think this will end up actually working out pretty well for the kid because he's still like 24 years old. And now he doesn't have to run, he probably is not going to run 25th, 26th every race anymore. He's going to be contending for wins almost every weekend. He's going to be competing for a championship. And I think this is going to be a big confidence boost that he desperately needs. Because I think he will be back in the Cup Series again. Because don't forget, Kevin Harvick is sounding like he's probably going to retire at the end of the 2023 season. Eric Almirola almost retired this year, but he's probably going to be in that ride either 1 more or 2 more years. I forgot what his contract looks like, but he's going to get at least one of those rides once one of those guys retires. So I think Cole Custer will be back in the Cup Series, but for the time being, I think this is going to work out well for Cole Custer. So I wish nothing but the best for him. Hopefully he will get better. And I hope to see this kid's confidence get back, even though, I mean, I've been critical of him in the past because he was not good at all in the Cup Series except for that one win. But I really do hope he does bounce back and see you in the Cup Series again one day. And I'm happy for Ryan Preece, and I really hope that he does take this opportunity of a lifetime right here, because he did say he had offers from Xfinity and truck teams, full-time, part-time, but he decided to push those aside and wait for this 41 car, which that was a real gutsy move, because I think everyone was thinking Custer was going to come back, basically. So props to him there. So good luck to both of those guys.
All right, so I just want to finish up the episode with some quick thoughts about Ty Gibbs again, about some expectations for him and whatever. So I think this is probably the biggest expectation the rookie driver has had put on him since probably Chase Elliott and or Ryan Blaney. I mean, we saw what Ty Gibbs did in Xfinity this year and what he did in his first year when he ran part-time, and he clearly has talent, and he can just dominate Xfinity races, won the championship this year. So yeah, I think this is the biggest expectations going into the season for a driver in quite a long time. But I'm going to say that you need to give him a few years. I mean, look at Chase Elliott. He didn't get his first win until in the middle of his third season in 2018. He was a rookie in 16, didn't win until the mid of the year 2018. Ryan Blaney, it took him a few years to get going too. Same with William Byron. Same with, look at Eric Jones now. Eric Jones hasn't won several races, but it took him a few years to get a win, and then now he's slowly getting better and better. Look at Christopher Bell. Same thing with him. He had a really good year this year after a few years. So you got to give these kids a few years in the Cup Series. You can't go into the rookie season and be like, oh yeah, he's going to win a race and make the playoffs and lead laps and all this stuff. Like, you can't do that for a rookie in the Cup Series. Like, we've seen it several times with all those drivers I just listed. Chase Elliott, Eric Jones, Ryan Blaney, William Byron, and more. It gives them a few years to get used to the Cup Series. It's a different breed, so I'm not going to have too high expectations for Ty Gibbs in the first year, maybe even the first 2 or 3 years. I'm going to give him a few years to learn the cars and, have what it takes to race against Chase Elliott, Kyle Busch, Kevin Harvick every single week. So I'm going to give him at least this year, maybe even another year or two after that to get used to stuff. So that's just one thing I quickly want to say before we wrap it up. But Matthew, do you have any other closing thoughts before we go ahead and finish this episode out?
I do agree on everything you just said there. I know this kid's going to be the most well-known rookie, the most polarizing rookie in a long time. I don't think even Kyle Busch, when he became a rookie in the Cup Series, was this well-known, this scrutinized rookie here. And in terms of talent-wise, this is going to be the most talented rookie that we've probably seen since Chase Elliott in 2016. So, like I said, I don't expect him to win next year, but I think he does have a good shot at making the playoffs. It is a Joe Gibbs racing car at the end of the day, so I think he can at least get a playoff spot, depending on how many wins we have. He'll probably get knocked out the first round, but I don't see him winning unless, he does surprise us with a win on a road course, maybe, or who knows, a super speedway like the Daytona 500. So who knows? So yeah.
All right, that is going to wrap this episode up. We hope you guys enjoyed it. Our first video of the off season. We'll bring a few more videos to you guys throughout the off season as well, with any silly season stuff or maybe just some random videos we want to record for you guys. But make sure you leave a like, make sure you subscribe, check out our social media pages. But until the next time, we'll see you guys in the next video.